Monarch is building the future for those interested in one wallet that consolidates the best services and functionality into one simple and easy-to-use app. Monarch will empower users to control all aspects of their financial kingdom from the palm of their hand. You may have heard the phrase, not your keys, not your crypto. With Monarch, you own your keys and seed, meaning you own your crypto. With Monarch, you can store, receive, send, swap, buy, sell, and earn interest on your crypto, track your portfolio, the news, the market cap, and more today. We're constantly adding new services and updates too. Learn more today by visiting monarchtoken.io or download the wallet for free today from Apple or Google. Hey everybody, welcome to Beards and Bitcoins, a crypto podcast for the man's man and of course the ladies who love them. I'm joined here with my co-host Jay Chains. We got a special guest today, Crypto Tone. What is going on?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Excited. I got my beard all, ready for this.
Yes.
Scruffy, I see you guys too. You got to keep the beards,
Gotta keep the beards.
Yeah, the beard's back, y'all. The beard's back. So no worry. It's officially back now after I had shaved it a couple weeks ago. So big mistake. I'll never do it again. But yeah, so I met you, Crypto Tone, down in, or I'll just call you Tone. Met you down in Florida when Quinn and I were down there giving a talk for our Decentralize America Tour. This was like partnered with the University of Central Florida. You were the only guy wearing a Tron shirt at the party. So I was like, I had to talk to this guy.
Yeah, me and Dr. Jeffrey was wearing a sweater, but it was a tiny little Tron.
Yeah. Well, but, Jeffrey actually works for Tron, so
I know.
But I think he wore that same thing in Vegas. It was the same thing. It was like a dark sweater with a dark logo. You're like, oh, that is the Tron logo, but it's super hard to see.
I'm like, man, you gotta hit it hard with the Tron logo, man.
Yeah. I know they got those T-shirts with the giant red logo on it, But Jeffrey likes to play it cool, man. Like Jeffrey thinks he's smooth. So yeah, but so we talked. What was your impression? Like this is a question I want to ask people about the tour, and I mean we're not going to go too hard on the tour today, but I want to know, as a person that had never seen that talk before, like if you didn't know Tron was there, would you have known that Tron sponsored that whole thing?
Yes and no. I mean, Jeffrey was really the only one with the Tron. He had the Tron attire. He had the Tron table going on. It was a small table over there, but probably not. I mean, it was mainly just a couple of other people that spoke. Then you guys came out. I didn't even know you were going to be there. I was shocked when I seen you. You remember when I met you? I was like, oh, it's that BitBoy. I was like, what the hell? Like, and I knew you. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have known that Tron was actually hosting the event until you guys spoke, which was great. I mean, the speech was great, and you guys gave a lot of good information. Regarding the people that came, I actually knew some of the people that went just because I've been to other blockchain events in the area. And, it was funny because there was like 3 people that were like kind of like Tron haters, back in 2018 when everybody used to make fun of Tron. And people still do, but it's not as bad anymore. So people were like, this Tron thing, yada, yada, yada. And then they started asking me, well, what is it about Tron that's better than Ethereum? Why get invested in Tron? So the questions and I guess the sentiment behind Tron was a lot different this time when I was speaking to people. So I thought that was pretty cool. So kind of, helps me feel a little better about myself when I hear other people talking crap about it. And when you go to an event and they like it, it's kind of a good thing. So
yeah. So, I mean, kind of the whole goal of the tour is really blockchain education and things like that. So we're really trying to go hard on the education and not like, it's not about us shilling Tron to people at all. Like, and if anybody's seen our talks on my YouTube channel or whatever, like, it's not about shilling Tron, but it's about trying to bring in the next generation of blockchain developers. And I talked to a lot of people at the event. We actually had 2 events there, and at both times I talked to people that wanted to come in to blockchain as a career. So I thought that was really cool. But one reason I was like, you know what, we got to get this guy on the podcast was because right after we talked, Jay Chains made some big trade moves. Okay, he got out of some positions. I'm not going to say what he got out of, but
we're not name dropping, but we're out, baby.
Name dropping.
We out, baby.
We out. And I've been telling him to get out for a long time.
We're liquid.
Let me know the info.
We're liquid. I'm just going to say I'm liquid.
Yeah, we'll tell you after the show. But so basically the long and the short of it is that he was asking, like, what projects should he look to invest in with his newfound liquidity? And so one of the things he asked, what did you ask about Tron, Jay?
Well, I want to know. So I had done my research. I wanted to know what should cause me or anyone really that maybe you don't, because I don't really know much about Tron other than I know Justin Sun he's a hype man. He likes to make announcements. And I know a few things. So I've done my research. But my question was, what would cause me, or what would be your reasoning to get me to invest in Tron, someone who doesn't know much about the network as a whole? That was my question.
Yeah. So what do you think, Tone? I mean, you're the Tron guy.
Has to be that question?
Oh, yeah. We're asking you.
My man, Tone. Let's see what
right
you got
now. We are asking you that question.
I mean, look, I could give you the link to my channel. You can just go watch. I put out videos every day on Tron. I know people are going to come out and say I'm a Tron shill and all this stuff, but I've been talking about Tron for probably almost 2 years now. And, they've gone through so many different stages in the life of Tron, from, the testnet launch all the way down to today. I mean, starting from back then, it was just a copied white paper everybody wanted to talk about and, the next Ethereum. But nobody really believed in it because people just want to believe that Ethereum is the next one to be huge, which, Ethereum already had its run and we already see that it's not scalable. Tron is already coming out now and showing that it's actually proving that, it could run the way that it's supposed to run. Ethereum obviously has issues with scaling. EOS is having issues with congestion in the network, as you guys may know. So it's just crazy because, people, I guess in the crypto industry mainly are, I would say, especially on Twitter, people are very, young-minded, I guess you could say, where they're like, they don't really understand. They just see that Justin Sun's a hype man and they don't actually use the product to see that it really works. And that's what I do on a day-to-day basis where I'm playing dApps, things like that. Whenever I'm playing a dApp, whenever I'm sending transactions or anything like that, it is instantaneous. I don't have to sit there and worry about when my coins are going to get there. It's quick, it's fast. We have a hype man who's marketing the crap out of it, as you guys know. And again, that could be looked at as a good thing or a bad thing. In my opinion, it's actually a good thing, because how else are we going to get Tron in the minds of other people? The thing is, think about it like this. Anybody who's in crypto knows who Justin Sun is. Even if they don't like him or whatever they think about him, they all know who he is. You get what I'm saying? So it's in the minds of everybody now. And now that they're making moves and that the product actually works, people, I think, need to start taking it seriously. And, even with these events that you guys are doing, I mean, again, I'm blown away by what they're doing at this point, because again, I didn't think it was going to get to this point, and I'm glad it did, because I've been invested for a while. And, again, the dApps are great. Everything's great on it so far. So I can't really complain with my investment, although the price sucks, but hey.
They're about $8.5 million short of $1 billion 24-hour volume. Looking at, that's a big day.
Yeah, because even if you think it's a shit coin, you're going to go trade it. And everybody knows, I know Tron, that shit coin, and they go and trade it. But it's like everybody knows what it is.
That's how I feel about Dogecoin.
Yeah, everybody knows what Dogecoin is. But I mean, what the hell is Dogecoin at the end of the day, right? It was created as
a meme coin. It's a meme coin.
Tron actually has use case behind it.
Well, I feel like this is really, this is a great example right here, talking about Dogecoin and Tron, of, speculation versus use case, because, I would argue the Dogecoin is a very important part of the crypto ecosystem, actually.
And I know why.
Yeah, right. In terms of speculation, because, Dogecoin being so low price because of the high supply, it means that every move from one Satoshi to the next, whether it's positive or negative, provides a lot of liquidity for people wanting to either dump Bitcoin or buy a bunch of Bitcoin. And so if you look at a lot of the altcoin season we've had, a Dogecoin pump will usually preempt, big altcoin gains. And it's just purely speculation. We all know it's a meme coin and it doesn't actually do anything. However, Tron also has a lot of speculation as well, just like everything crypto, but it actually does have use case, has a product. It's on its main net. The dApps on Tron, I would argue, I would say that definitely Tron is the number one dApp platform right now. Ethereum has more dApps. Ethereum has a lot more dApps than anything else, but Tron has higher volume, higher users, higher transactions. It would be kind of like, just having like a hoarder. You know, that's what Ethereum is with dApps. Like they're hoarding all these dApps, but they're not getting used. Whereas Tron has a lower number, but they're getting more use out of them. So I definitely think Tron is, you know, doing big stuff and people do hate it. But here's a question. What is Justin Sun known most for in the crypto space? What do you guys think? What's the one word that comes to mind that everybody says?
Tone, I'll let you take this one, man.
I guess you could say Schiller. You know, he's out there just shilling his product. But
close. Announcement.
Announcement, all that. But again, it's like everybody knows that. You know, it's like people love the whole Tesla thing. And I know there was some other fun. I can't even think of it off the top of my head. But they loved all that stuff. And, you know, even though they were like, oh, he's doing it wrong, he still came through. So that's kind of a good thing. I mean, I don't see people talking about, you know, people might come out and say that, I don't know, let's just say, you know, Dogecoin, take Dogecoin for example. Oh, Dogecoin's going to be the future. I don't really see the Dogecoin CEO coming out and pushing his product. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of coins
that's because he sold it. That's because he sold it. He's pretty outspoken on Twitter as he makes a lot of political statements and stuff like that. But it really just boils down to the fact that he's been mad because he sold everything. But I understand what you're saying. Like,
let's take Theta for an example. Theta is another coin that's sort of like that could be a Tron killer if you really looked into it. But there's marketing behind it, so I can't even hate anybody. You know, I could just sit there and say that this thing's going to be the future. I've had people constantly showing on my channel Apollo. That was big for about 6 months, and then what happened with that? You know, I'm invested in that only a little bit, but hey, you know what's going on with Apollo? What?
Yeah. So, oh no. Well, that's a conversation for a later day. But the thing is, my point about, you know, him making the announcement is that when is the last time that Justin Sun made an announcement about some kind of partnership that turned out to be a flop or overblown?
I mean,
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, they look at this. They came out with the Samsung thing. I mean, the Samsung thing was huge. I was
absolutely.
Tell me about what, in case people don't know about the Samsung thing. What happened?
So basically, he said we're going to partner with Samsung, and then they went to the Samsung event, the SDC 19 event, and the guy that worked for Samsung was basically, he said they're in a partnership like 4 or 5 times, and people were like blown away, you know, and the haters were just like crickets, you know. Yeah, they're partnering with, I guess you could say in a way they're partnered with Ethereum. They might be partnered with Bitcoin. I don't know, because they have Bitcoin on their key store as well. But they were very adamant that you know, Tron is going to be a big part of the Samsung key store, and that was like, you know, kind of when you watch the interview, you're like, you know, you realize that. I was shocked when I saw that, because I was like, you know what, if we don't get something big out of this, I'm going to be pissed. And I think after the whole Buffett lunch, there was the other thing, the Buffett lunch, you know, Justin needs to come through and say something good here. And then when he said we have a big partnership coming, I was like, it better be a partnership, man. It better not be no flop bullshit. And he made sure that they said partnership a few times. So definitely the community was happy about that. But, you know, the whole thing with the Buffett lunch, BitBoy, I want to talk to you about. I mean, you were saying that you don't think the Buffett lunch is going to happen, right?
Well, you know, I originally said that, and that was when the stuff with China and Justin Sun was kind of secretive, and people were still saying it was kidney stones. I think now everybody, even though I told people a week after, everybody now believes that this is, you know, it was China telling him you cannot have this lunch. But, you know, things have shifted the last couple of weeks. Now that China is saying that they're going to go all in on blockchain, could we see an adjustment of the way that they see Justin Sun and the way that they see Tron? Maybe not. But if they do and the lunch is allowed to go through, then it'll happen. I mean, it just boils down to basically, will China allow him to have the lunch? And that is the long and the short of it. And I think that, you know, that was one of those things. I think we've seen a total change in Justin Sun, and people have not realized it. The change has been, and actually Cliff that used to work with Tron, he's not there anymore, but Cliff had actually told me that this is something that they strategically tried to do, is get away from the false announcements. Get away from announcing things that are going to happen that don't happen. And if you really follow back over the last year, you'll see that Tron's actually done a good job. Justin Sun's done a good job, maybe 8 to 9 months. Whenever the soccer thing broke, they said we had a partnership with the Liverpool, and it turned out just to be an invitation, whatever it is. Ever since then, everything Justin Sun has said has been legit and has actually happened. But because of the announcing of the announcements near the beginning of Tron, extending through the ICO and even through the mainnet, people are they remember that. And so they always think like, oh, here comes another false announcement. But if you really look at the track record over the last 8 to 9 months, you'll see that pretty much everything they said that was going to happen has happened, with the exception of the Buffett lunch, which was due to external factors. So, and we were also talking about, I think that you had mentioned something that when we were DMing back and forth about the lunch, the price tag on it. And a lot of Tron people had thought that was Tron Foundation money or that was Tron money. But the $5.4 million for the lunch was 100% out of Justin Sun's personal money. It was nothing to do with money from the Tron Foundation. I mean, he's, multi-millionaire. So, I thought that was very interesting. I think a lot of people may still believe that.
Yeah, I mean, that could be the case. I mean, people are still going to perceive it as like, investor money was used. That's the way that I look at it. So it's kind of like, in my opinion, to hype it up so much to that point, I would think that it would have to happen eventually, whether or not you used investor funds or Tron funds, whatever the case may be. I think that it needs to happen for sure, because I think it's good for the blockchain space. And, at the end of the day, I think it's going to bring Tron in a new light. And I think it's going to bring crypto into a new light as well, because again, no one else is out there, shilling for crypto as much. You see a lot of people shilling for Bitcoin, a lot of Bitcoin believers, right?
Yeah, it's popular right now,
There's no CEO behind Bitcoin, but we're out there shilling it because we believe in decentralization. So I think Justin Sun's the front man when it comes to that. I mean, you also got Charlie Lee, Roger Ver out there who's been in Bitcoin for a long time, but Justin's like coming, he's coming at us full speed, and it's kind of like he's not putting the brakes on. He's going, Samsung, this, that, the third. It's always something,
It's always something.
Yeah, so it's nice to see that, and I really hope that it continues that way, and that they continue, like you said, to basically not announce things that aren't going to happen. You know what I mean? So, the Tesla thing was another, they gave away the money. It was a little bit less than an actual Tesla was worth, right? He made it right. He made it right. He did what he had to do. It was just getting to the point where it was too much. So now that's kind of, under the carpet now, I think the last thing left to kind of prove to people would be the Buffett lunch. And then once that happens, I mean, as long as he just stays on point with his announcements and keeps doing what he's doing, I don't think we're going to have any problems, to be honest with you.
I think that's important. I think what you guys are saying, about hyping and delivering on kind of the message and what you're trying to come across with, it's really important right now for the space. I mean, because you see like big news doesn't really move the markets. And what you're doing is you're pissing off your investors. I mean, I can tell you firsthand, I got sick of that, like hype. We've got this crazy announcement, and then it's like, oh, we're going to announce that we shook hands with somebody. It's like, what is that about? Like, don't get me excited about. Yeah, but it's like enough is enough. Like, like I get, buy the rumors, sell the news. Like that makes sense. But like, don't keep stringing people on. Don't keep saying, oh, we got something major we're going to tell you. And it's just like, that's your news? You shook hands with somebody? You don't even have an ink contract? Go piss off, man. Like, come on.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I was just mentioning Verge and Pornhub. That was the biggest news for crypto ever. And then Verge announced that they were, being accepted by Pornhub, and the thing just tanked. I'm like, biggest thing for crypto?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It really went down.
Oh, those nerds got to get their porn. You know what I'm saying?
That was a joke. I missed it.
And it's funny because that was like the first time I sold the news. Like, it's buy the room selling. That was the first time I said, I am selling this news this time. And I'm so glad I did. I never touched Verge again. I can't stand that.
Dude, I feel so free. I sold some news and I'm like,
It's nice. The feeling is good.
MCO tanked last night too. It was that. What was that?
Oh yeah, it did. I was looking at the chart. Yeah, it did.
470, and I was like,
they heard I'm in it. The people heard I'm in it, and they're like, we're out.
Yeah. I woke up at 1 a.m. and I saw the tweet for the Block Show event that the CEO was going to be at. So I wanted to watch that. He said they were announcing an exchange, and as soon as he said that, boom! I look at my app, and it's just like. So I started selling a little bit, and I said, you know what? I'll buy some back later. But Crow token went up, which is their blockchain that they're building out, and they're going to be freezing. I think they already did. They froze like 60 billion tokens. Plus, if you have a token that you want listed on crypto.com, you're actually going to be able to freeze Crow coins and then get like a cheaper listing fee or something like that. So
nice.
These ideas that some of these blockchains got are pretty they're pretty creative, and if we lock up supply, makes sense, right? Because then we can have some higher prices.
Yeah, and I think I'm getting ready actually later today to record my top 10 coins for 2020 for 2020. Like I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I know I'm going to put crypto.com on there for sure. I mean, they are sponsoring me, so it's like, that's people got to understand, like, yeah, they're sponsoring me, but I believe that crypto.com is going to be the premier card that people are using for crypto. And I like what they're doing a lot more than BitPay. And we were talking about also a Block Card. Like, I like Block Card. I like the people from Block Card. But Crypto.com is here, and it's working. And they're not just going to be in America. They're going to get in Europe as well. And I think Crypto.com is going to do absolutely huge things in 2020.
So let me ask you the difference between like because I mean we all know, but so for you, is there a convenience difference between using the Square card, the Cash App? Because obviously with that, if your holdings in Bitcoin, you're going to have to sell that into fiat to be able to use to fund the card. Why would you prefer Crypto.com versus like a cash card?
Well, you have more options with Crypto.com.
Okay.
With the Cash App, you just have Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, that's it right now. It's just Bitcoin.
Yeah. So with Crypto.com, you could put, I think there's like 40 plus currencies on there. And I think about 10 of them have functionality where you can send the coins in. So the other 30 that they offer, you can buy those coins, you can send them out, but you actually can't send those coins in. That functionality is going to come down the line. So what you do is with, like, let's say you want to send in Ripple, you send in some Ripple and, XRP, if there's any XRP.
Watch out, the army's going to get you, man.
I know, I don't want to get hurt here. So if you send in XRP, you can sell it for US dollar and then top up your card with US dollar. So that's the cool thing about it. You can also do it with Ethereum. You could do it with, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP, and Bitcoin at the moment. You could do it with the other ones. They're going to have functionality for down the line. So I think that's a key thing right there. I do like the spend card as well. The spend card is cool because there's like 20 or 30 cryptos on there as well. When you send your coins into there, you can just go to the store and swipe your card and it'll take from whatever balance you check off. Like let's say you check off Tron, you just go to the store, you swipe your card and it'll take from your Tron balance, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But
so like you said it like your primary account, like, all right, so I got the most of this. I want to spend some of this. That goes down. Like, all right, I want to start selling some XRP instead.
Yeah. You go on the app and then there's like a blue button. You hit the blue button. And then when you go to the store, you swipe the card, it'll take it from your Tron balance. And then it'll just show up as that amount minus USD basically.
Oh, nice.
So I like that concept as well. I think Crypto.com at the end of the day, though, I think with what they got going on, they are in the lead right now when it comes to the to the crypto debit cards. I mean, Spend and Crypto.com are up there. The other one's really Block Card. There's a new one called Swipe that I've heard about. That's kind of
it just pumped up in the top 50 or something like that, I think.
Yeah. I seen that the other day. Someone sent it to me and they're like, "Oh, you got to look at this." And I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll look at it." But I went in the Telegram room. I was asking questions and not getting any answers. So, customer service, the Crypto.com customer service, again, is like excellent compared to any of them. So again, same thing with you, like you said, you're sponsored and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like, you really believe in it. I'm the same situation. I really believe in Crypto.com. I've always believed in them. I kind of lost faith last year in December when they said they were stalling the card release to the US. But then when they came out, I was like, you know what? I think they got this. And so far, so good. So can't complain.
Well, a lot of the delays that come in with these cards, and I know this from my interview with the Block Card people, it has more to do with Visa and the processing companies than it has to do with anything. The guy from Block Card was telling me that just to get the logo, the Visa logo on their card, like there's all kinds of hoops you got to jump through. Like even the thickness of the card has to be a certain width. And then the logo itself has to be a certain width measured in like something smaller than millimeters. Like it's really insane. So, I think a lot of, when these crypto companies are dealing with more centralized, basically dealing with the frustration that we feel every day when we try to have customer service with Visa ourselves or with any large corporation, like it's just frustrating because your hands are tied. So, I think that probably has something to do with it when we're seeing delays with anything that's related to cards, but.
No, I agree. I mean, that's why I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt, back then. Because the thing is, like, I make 90% of my money now in crypto. So it's like, what's the easiest way for me to be able to quickly pay a bill and not have to worry about sending money to Coinbase and then, ACH transaction back to my bank account, which takes, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days or something like that. Then, or you got to pay for a wire transfer, which costs you money. So for me, it's very convenient. And I know a lot of people that are in crypto as well that it's convenient for. So it makes sense. It makes sense over time for these crypto cards to really make some headway in the crypto world. We all use the banking system. We all use Visa system in America. So we have really no choice but to go with these options that we have. Of course, out in China, they're using QR codes, they're using Alipay and WeChat Pay. But in America, we're behind. We're behind still. We're just putting chips in cards, and finally starting to use Apple Pay and Android Pay. But over there in China, they got the QR codes and they're scanning away. I mean, they're going to be able to adopt crypto a lot more easier than we are, I think, with the grandfather methods that we're using right now.
Right. That was actually going to be my next question to you guys. So instead of furthering the advancement of the Visa cards that are funded with your crypto that you've got a KYC for, why don't we just advance payment gateway systems so you can still buy anonymously?
Right. Well, that's unfortunately, I think that's up to the higher ups really. So it's kind of like the crypto companies are finding a loophole to get into our system, and the best loophole to get in is to go through with Visa, because Visa is accepted everywhere, as opposed to just recreating the entire system. Now, of course, we have those little things at like McDonald's, or that they scan your phone for your coupon or something like that. Like at Starbucks, you have the Spindon app now, where you can put coins on the Spindon app, and then you can go and actually pay when they scan your phone, and then it'll do the conversion for them, just kind of like the spend card does. Right. So basically, if you go there, you want to pay $5 for a Starbucks coffee, you hit the Spindon thing, and then it'll take it from whatever balance you want to use, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin Cash at the moment. So that's cool, but we have to wait for everybody to get those QR scanners that scan your phone. So as opposed to waiting, Crypto.com, Spend, all these cards that are coming out, I think they're making the right move, because again, here in America, we're just it's like by the time we get there, the technology is going to be old, and there's going to be something new. We're going to be paying with microchip in our hand by that time. Who knows?
Well, I think we're still at a point where people like something in their hand, and China is way far ahead of us in terms of mobile phone usage, which would blow most Americans' minds to think that we are way behind in how much we count on our phones, because as we know, like these things right here, like these things are our identity more than anything. This is our identity. We carry this around with us everywhere. We have our whole lives on this phone, but we're nowhere near as dependent on it as people in Asia and people in China are. Because right now they're paying with their phones and things like that, but in America, most people are not. So I think it's still going to be a while before we get to that point where everybody's using their phone for payments. So it's definitely good to have something as an intermediary here. But Tone, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Tell everybody where they can find you at.
Yeah, at crypto_tone1 is my Twitter or my Telegram if you guys want to reach out to me directly. Crypto Tone, just throw it in YouTube and you guys can find me there. I do like 3-4 videos a day sometimes, sometimes only one. Mainly, I do a lot of videos on TRON, crypto.com. We talk about everything crypto. So I try and be as diversified in the crypto space as possible. But definitely thanks for having me on, man. Really enjoyed it, and hope to get on with you guys again and shoot the shit again.
Absolutely, man. It was a good chatting with you.
Yeah,
all
man.
right. Awesome. Well, we will see you guys later. Thank you for joining.
See you.
All right.
You got this shit locked and loaded.